On one of the busiest days for businesses all around the world, Black Friday, today I want to focus on taking a moment to reflect. Yesterday, many people celebrate a holiday called Thanksgiving. And even if you don't necessarily celebrate the holiday, there is something profound about reflecting on the things that you're grateful for. Not only profound from a values perspective for people who already think this is profound, but this is actually something that has been studied, that gratitude, having a thankful attitude towards the world around you, can have positive effects on your physical health, on your psychological health, on your relationships, on your own kind of internal health, the way you relate to yourself. There's all kinds of benefits. And you can Google this, by the way. This is not quack science. This is relatively well established that living with gratitude is good for you. Now, we aren't talking about just general gratitude today. Instead, in this episode of Developer Tea, this super short kind of challenge episode, we did a challenge in the last episode where we talked about how you respond to certain types of stress. I encourage you to listen to that one as well. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about a particular way of reflecting, and we're going to get into that right after I take a quick break to talk about today's sponsor, Manifold. Hopefully you know that building your own authentication system or content management system doesn't really make much sense. There's lots of great options already built, available for you, and those problems have been solved. But the hard part is deciding which services to integrate and learning how to integrate those services. In fact, that can in itself be a full-time job. With Manifold, you can discover and integrate all of those services in the Manifold marketplace. Manifold is free to use, and they have services covering things like authentication, messaging, monitoring, content management, pretty much anything you can imagine. Go and check it out. You're going to get $10 worth of credit to use on any of those services, manifold.co/devtea. That's manifold.co/devtea. Thank you again to Manifold for sponsoring today's episode. So I want you to take a moment, and this is the challenge for today. I want you to take a moment and think about someone who has helped your career that you didn't know. That's kind of the goal of Developer Tea, and this, you don't have to fill in the blank with Developer Tea. The point is not to elevate this show above other shows by any means. Someone who is a blogger, someone who creates a podcast that you've gotten some kind of value out of, take a moment and reflect and list out 2 or 3 of those people. It could be, for example, an author of a book that you read that really changed the way you think about the world. For me, this person would be Danny Kahneman. Or maybe it's the author of some open source software that you use and that you get a lot of value out of. Maybe you don't even know the person's name. Maybe you just use things that you're thankful for. Take a moment and go and learn about who these people are, what they do, and why they created the thing that you get value out of. The truth is, this kind of value system where the person producing that value doesn't necessarily have direct connections with all of the people that are consuming that value, that often it goes disconnected. Those people don't ever have a chance to interface, to have discussions face to face. So I encourage you, if you have a list of those people, I encourage you to reach out. You don't have to do it today, but put it down on your list of things to do. Reach out and thank them for what they've done for your career, and specifically talk about the effect that they've had on your career. As we already mentioned before, this grateful attitude towards other people is healthy for you. It's good for you. It's good for your career. But even more than that, that appreciation that you show to that person, you might be surprised how meaningful it could be. It turns out, and we've talked about this on the show before, that notes of appreciation are greatly overestimated in terms of how awkward they're going to be, and greatly underestimated in terms of how appreciated they're going to be. So even if it takes you 5 or 10 extra minutes in your day, reach out and say thank you to somebody. Say thank you to somebody who has had an impact on your career as a developer. On a day when many of us are trying to get as much as we can for as little as we can, let's take a moment and reverse that by giving appreciation to someone who isn't necessarily even asking for it. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Thank you again to Manifold for sponsoring today's episode of Developer Tea. Remember, you can get $10 worth of credit, speaking of giving, $10 worth of credit on any service that Manifold provides in their marketplace. And remember, Manifold is free to use. Go and check it out, manifold.co/devtea. It's manifold.co/DEVTEA. Thanks again for listening to today's episode, and until next time, enjoy your tea.